We are unable to hear you, Mercy. But your expressions say it all.
Hi, REVA, Pranam.
Hey, Mansi, Pranam.
Hi, welcome.
Hello,
So
Reva.
lovely, so bright and really, man, really? Yeah.
Hi.
Nishan, how is it doing?
Yeah, Ishan's doing good. Ishan has his IEP today, so we are all set.
Good, good to know, good to hear.
Yeah, he's excited. Pranam, Surinder, I think I'm seeing you for the first time. Hi, Divya. Hi, Rishabh. Hi, Dhara. Pranam,
Hi,
Preeti, and
Mansi.
Ranju. We'll just start in a couple of minutes. So I just want to share this amazing painting is by Ashok Navami. He's just such an amazing artist, and he sent me this painting, and the moment I saw it, it just felt like Ma Lakshmi to me. So I hope you're able to feel the sheer energy of this. I can imagine it must be even more amazing in real life, but Pranam, Dr. Sunita. Hi Naveen.
Pranam everyone. Pranam Mansi.
Today I'm seeing so many Lakshmis in the group. There have been so many Lakshmis in my life also, personally also, and I'm so thrilled that they are here with us today.
Mansi, we can start.
We can start, okay? So pranam everyone, and yes, happy birthday to Geeta Masi. Today is Tuesday. At this time, we meet here to experience Deva magic. We dissolve our subconscious, that is our patterns, our conditionings, our beliefs. We expand our field of observation, our conscious, and we connect with the superconscious, the masters, the devas, the divine. And today we are going to connect with our beloved Ma Lakshmi. So welcome, 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 and a big psychic hug to all of you. So when I think of the essence of Ma Lakshmi, we have talked about in our Quanto series that Vishnu is like the CEO of the universe. He is taking care of the functioning of the entire universe. And so what is Ma Lakshmi? Ma Lakshmi is a Shakti that helps him in the working of the cosmos to ensure that it runs smoothly. And how does she do that? So the essence of Ma Lakshmi is the connection and the interaction between every single being and every single thing in the universe. So when you look at the universe, when you look at matter, Ma Lakshmi is the connection between matter and based on science, the interactions we have in matter we have the strong force, which is the nucleus of the atom. It is the protons and neutrons held really tight. It's the strongest force in the universe. And then we have what is called as the weaker force, which is still very strong, but it is the energy during a nuclear fission, during the radioactive decay. And then you have But both these forces of interaction have a shorter range, and then you have the very long range interactions, which are electromagnetic interactions, which is between any positively charged thing and negatively charged thing. So you have that, and then you have gravity. So all these interactions also exist on a physical level. Every element, every compound, every molecule is held together by ionic and covalent bonds. So you have the interaction there. Then you have the interaction between all the living beings. You have interaction with matter, you also have interaction with the living beings, and then you have interaction in communities, in nations, and just about everywhere. All that is Mahalakshmi. And Mahalakshmi is really the essence of sharing. Like if you think of even all these bonds between matter, like ionic and covalent bonds, it's all the interaction, it's all the sharing, the giving and taking of electrons. And I'm going to come back to the practical side, but one of the things I want to share, being a chemist, when you look at the periodic table and you look at all the elements, there is one element that stands out because of its unique ability to form bonds. And can you guess what that element is? That element is actually carbon. And it is no accident that carbon is able to form so many different compounds and such complex molecules that it also creates life. Okay. So we're going to go deeper into what is the essence of Ma Lakshmi. But before that, I want to start off with a question that what do you think makes people prosper? What is the reason do you think is, what is the reason for prosperity in your personal lives or, just everywhere? What do you think is the reason for prosperity?
Yeah, even at the level of even at the level of communities, why certain communities prosper more, or at the level of nations, why certain nations prosper more.
Okay, so we will take it for communities and nation, Shivo, not person. Yeah. Okay.
No, we'll take it for person, for communities, for nations, because I think the answer, where we are, moving towards is it is same for everything.
Absolutely, absolutely. So yes, so please share this. All your sharing adds energy to the vibrational field we are creating here, so that Mahalakshmi energy can step in. So Dhara shares mindset, belief systems, and karma. So that's a lot of packing a lot of things. Yes, karma is responsible for this. Dr. Sunita shares expression of gratitude in all levels. Very true. A collection of positive thoughts. Okay, that makes things prosper. Thought forms make you prosper. Conditioning. Dirgha says conditioning. Leela says thought forms. Sandhya says interaction, the openness in that. Very true. Ranjana says communities grow when people help each other. Again, an interaction part. Raga says giving back to community. Yes. What makes nations prosper? So I'm hearing a lot of, actually, I guess I'm hearing even personal things, but what makes nations, certain nations prosper more than others? Kanish says your own integrity. Surinda says open heart, kindness, compassion, and openness to receive. Because, when you think about nations, you have all kinds of people. So community building, togetherness. Raga says togetherness in people. Raga also shares sharing a common purpose. Very true. That is something that unites us. Oh, that's beautiful, Sandhya. Each one for everyone. Actually, it also reminds me of a Martin Luther quote where he was trying to gather people together for the civil rights movement. Okay. So these are some great answers and great points for how communities and individuals prosper. Let's get deeper into the, into what it means at an individual level, at a deeper level, and then we will have our honoring ceremony.
I'm on a meeting.
Where we will honor people who we think are doing Mahalakshmi work in their lives and in their communities. And I really welcome everyone to send nominations of who they think are people we need to honor, because we want to honor Devas among us also. We bow down to the Devas above, but we also want to honor the Devas that walk around us doing Deva work. So I invite you all to send your nominations on our groups. So when I think of Mahalakshmi, I would like to go back to fairy tales or legends or fables, mythology that exists in almost every culture. If you think of a very common fairy tale, you have one sister who is probably extremely accomplished, who's extremely accomplished, very beautiful, very talented, and maybe there is a stepsister who's not so much, and she's not, and she's comparing herself, and she feels very jealous of this sister who's accomplished. And maybe at that time, the power in the house is in the hands of the stepmother and stepsister, like in Cinderella's story. And they will do their best to suppress, because you're so jealous of this person, they'll do their best to suppress this person. They will like keep this person closed and will not let this person interact with the outside world. But one day, this person will come out in the open, will get appreciated, and this whole jealousy game that is played by the stepsister collapses and the stepmother collapses. So this is a very, very common theme in all the legends and all the mythologies and all the fairy tales. In India, this beautiful accomplished sister, we call it Lakshmi. And this stepsister, we call it Alakshmi. Now, just remember how close they are. They also share almost a common DNA. So jealousy is something that happens between people that are very close to us. Like, if there is a comparison of success, you're not going to compare your money with Bill Gates. That is too far away. If you feel jealous, if money is important, then it will be probably someone very close to you. Maybe a sister, maybe a neighbor, maybe a very close friend. So jealousy is something that it is most hard to admit, because there is a component of love, there is a component of attachment also there, but there is component of guilt there. And jealousy is one of the biggest Lakshmi blocks to Lakshmi. So I and Shivo were having this discussion about comparison. The comparison is something very relative. Like, for example, in San Diego, we've had a lot of rains for Saturday and Sunday. And we'll be known as sunny San Diego. We have 360 days sunshine. But after those 2 days of rain, when the sun came, it was so welcome. Suddenly the sun felt so beautiful. So we do experience life in comparison. We do experience life in contrast. So when we have a comparison, there are different ways we can go about it. One way is when you're comparing, you can think that, okay, this other person has something and I want it. And I don't want that person to have it. So for example, if I'm jealous about someone's beauty, then I want to be more beautiful. I have this desire to be more beautiful. Her beauty causes me a problem. And I feel better if she is somehow not seen as that beautiful. So you not only want to win. So in jealousy, there's only one person who can win. Only one person you want at the top. And the other person should actually go down. The other thing is comparison can be like a pity thing, okay? Where you compare with yourself with the other person that, okay, I have this problem, but this person has a bigger problem. So you're really, again, there is no gain in that. You're just feeling better based on other people's misery. I've seen this, a lot of people, people who do charity, great work, but sometimes they also feel good by looking down, they feel good about themselves by thinking that, okay, I have lesser problems. But see, that doesn't really make you evolve, or, that just makes you feel a little better, but there's nothing, no good action comes out of it. And then the third thing is comparison can be a tool for evolution. So for example, if you find yourself comparing yourself with someone else, it's time to go into inquiry that what does she have that I don't have, and how can I get there? What is it that I feel like? If you're jealous of someone's marriage, then look into your own marriage and think about, what is lacking in my marriage? What do I need to do? And especially, what do I need to learn from this person? What is this person doing right? What do I need to do? And when you want to learn from someone, the first thing you need to do is have an appreciation for them. You have to acknowledge that they are bringing something to the table. They are doing something. And what is that? And you appreciate that. And the moment you start stepping into the field of appreciation, you are, when you're appreciating someone, your ego is not like that. You are bent, you are receptive, and you start imbibing those qualities. And those qualities, and if you appreciate that person, those qualities will grow in her even more, because even she feels honored. So this appreciation is something that keeps increasing. It keeps multiplying the good energy. And I think it is an amazing, amazing tool for evolution. So this is just my take on Lakshmi and appreciation. Shivo, I invite you. Guys, this is an interactive session, so keep your questions coming. Shivo, I invite you to share your perspective on Lakshmi. And in fact, so much of this perspective has come from you. So acknowledging that, please, can you share more?
Mansi, you have described it very, very well. The energy of Mahalakshmi, you have described very well. I would like to provide a context by sharing a little bit on three major Shaktis. That is the Kali, Lakshmi, and Saraswati. So probably that will help us understand more Mahalakshmi deeper. So what is the energy of Kali? Kali is the formative energy, the primal energy of life. So, the energy is in darkness. If you look within yourself, it is the dark emotions that have energy. But the problem is the dark emotions don't create anything, they destruct. So Kali's job is same way there is constantly a movement in the cosmos, which is from darkness to light. There's a huge amount of darkness, and the best way I have seen, best. So the best way, a lot of people describe God as light, and but the way I would describe God is not really light, but actually as a process through which the darkness becomes light. It's a process of dark turning into light. God is not light. God is a process, darkness turning into light. So that is Ma Kali. Now, what is Ma Saraswati? So there is a huge amount of energy which is available. Now that energy turns into different life forms, and that is exactly the string theory, which says that everything in this cosmos started as vibration. So that is the energy of Ma Saraswati.
Shivo, you are by mistake on mute.
No, I think he dropped off as well.
Yeah. Shivo, can you unmute, please?
Yes. So what is Ma Saraswati energy? So it says that it is said that Ma Saraswati sings, she plays veena, and she plays music, and from that music uh, are created the stars, the mountains, the rivers, the animals, the humans, everything. So that is what exactly the string theory says, that everything began as vibration. So that is Ma Saraswati. So Ma Kali is the darkness turning into light. Ma Saraswati uses that light to create the different life forms. Now, what is the role of Ma Lakshmi? Ma Lakshmi is that every being that is created interacts with every other being. And in the evolution of one being, there is a evolution of everyone. And a lot of people wonder why humans evolved so quickly, why they took the leap, the quantum leaps, and animals couldn't. There's only one reason for that. The only one reason. And the reason is, okay, that I call is the most mighty invention ever, and that invention is language. So what does language facilitates? Language enable us that one person has had an experience, and that experience can now be shared with many, and everyone who shares their experience also take a leap. Of course, the person who himself experienced will take the highest leap, but everybody who is listening, who is receiving that experience, will also take a leap. That means the evolution of one person can cause the evolution of everyone. I just realized, I mean, there is a scientist called Rupert Sheldrake, and he talks about something called morphogenetic fields, where he says that there are vibrational fields uh, where one person who learns anything is deposited into that morphogenetic field, and everybody has access to that. And I just realized, actually, I was talking with Mansi about the vibrational field called Holy Spirit. And I really feel that the reason why Europe has grown so quickly and how they became the superpower and then the US became superpower is because there was something called Holy Spirit, a vibrational field where everybody connected. They deposited their own experiences, and everybody accessed that experience. So there was a lot of collective evolution through that vibrational field. So Rupert Sheldrake, I also just realized that he was a Catholic and he was a regular church goer. So I am certain behind this philosophy of morphogenetic field, somewhere his own experiences of Holy Spirit are there. So so that is the power of language. Through language, evolution of one person becomes the evolution of everyone. And that is the energy of Mahalakshmi. But the problem is, someone in our own vicinity, someone in my own family, someone in my own friend circle, someone in my own neighborhood, someone I know so well could be taking huge leaps. But I am constantly denying, no, this person is nothing. This person is nothing. We don't acknowledge, we don't appreciate. Will we ever access what their leap is? That is the question, right? So when we deny the appreciation to others, and when we go into this comparison mode where we fall, one way of comparison is that, okay, this person knows something I don't, so let me be open to learning, let me appreciate. But when we are not in that state, when we start to feel inferior and we start to think, okay, this person should fall, and we are waiting for their fall, or sometimes we are actively doing something so that they fall. So if we are in that state, even if the person right next to you have taken huge leaps of evolution, you will have no evolution at all. In fact, with their evolution, you will fall. So that is the Lakshmi and Alakshmi. And if you see everyone who is prosperous, you can just look around and check. This is one quality you will find in them. They're appreciative of a lot of people. Who is that shopkeeper whose shop is doing best in your locality? That shopkeeper is the one who appreciate a lot of people. Same thing is true about communities. The communities who appreciate each other a lot and the other communities a lot. They are the communities, they are the nations who are appreciated. The the communities where people start to condemn each other, start to have a contempt, or the nations, or the communities who start to have condemnation for other communities, they are the one who really fall. They are the one who lag behind in appreciation. Yes, Mansi.
So we'll get ready for the honoring ceremony. Before that, I want to share this quote by Carl Sagan, which is also one of Shivo's favorite quotes, also mine, uh, and which speaks about the quality of Ma Lakshmi in the universe and in ourselves. And it goes, the nitrogen in our DNA, the calcium in our teeth, the iron in our blood, the carbon in our apple pies were made in the interiors of collapsing stars. We are made of star stuff. So this is by Carl Sagan in The Cosmos.
That is the Lakshmi nature of cosmos. The Lakshmi nature of cosmos is that everything wants to interact with everything. Everything becomes part of everything. That is Mahalakshmi.
So now I hand over to Prachiti to welcome and honor the stars among us today. So over to you, Prachiti.
There is also a question.
Yeah, Shivo, there is Jaya Didi has asked very beautiful questions. Do you want to take it up after the honoring, or you want to take it up?
Yeah. So the question is that there are just 1 minute. Some people borrow money, don't return. So that is a very asuric way of Lakshmi, and that is what is called a Lakshmi. And what happens is that there is something we were discussing very beautiful, that how Deva create some prosperity for themselves, and how Asura create prosperity for themselves. So when Asura will create, X value, he will actually delete 10x value, 100x value for the whole, for the others. And I gave an example that somebody may steal your car. So you have lost 10 lakhs rupees, but that person will actually sell it in 1 lakh or 2 lakh rupees. So for his own gain of 1 lakh rupees, actually you are inflicted with a loss of 10 lakh rupees. So this is true for all Lakshmi Asuric kind of prosperity. Their prosperity comes at a huge cost to others. And what happens is that when there are a lot of Alakshmi, Asuric prosperity kind of people, that society itself collapses. So, whatever their karma is has to be borne by everyone. So, even though we may have this, we may have this feeling that this person is actually gaining money, but actually the whole society is paying for that. That is why the societies where there is a lot of corruption, the overall prosperity is always going down. Everybody is actually paying for that. So yeah, that is the collective part of Lakshmi. Yes, Mansa.
Yes, over to Prachiti. Finally.
Thank you so much, Mansi. Am I audible?
Yes.
Because the network was playing games with me. Yeah. Welcome to all the honorees, welcome to all the guests, and welcome to all those who joined us on this platform today where we discuss community. And the moment we are all together here, I'm sure we already are a community, right? And in fact, community has become so relevant now when we are all locked up in our homes. Time and again, we started venturing out, but then again, something went wrong with the system, and again, we've been told to sit back. So community really becomes very relevant. And I am very glad to share that we have some very special women today who are going to talk about community, how to build them, how to get them across, and why to make the communities at all. What is the need? We are talking about the theoretical aspect maybe, but the practical aspect will come from our honorees. So here we begin. I would like to start with a quote, one of my favorites, and it comes from one of my favorite characters. We had been teaching Helen Keller, one of my favorite characters in history. And it's amazing. It's amazing to know about this woman and you know what she has to say. She says, alone we can do so little. Together we can do so much. And this so much has always attracted me because so much goes without limit, limitless. And to begin with the felicitation ceremony, I would first call upon Ragaji. May the spotlight be put on her. She's joined us all the way from US. Virtually also we are distant, but now we are close, so close. We are on the same forum. And I would like to introduce the audience to who is Ragaji. Of course, she will speak about herself and what she has been doing. And I have got some very interesting questions also for Ragaji. So, Ragaji, are you around?
Yes, I'm here. Actually, she's on Spotlight. Yeah.
Yeah. Most welcome. Most welcome. Raga Sudha Marupilla, mother of two lovely kids, married to a software engineer who has great passion for bringing people together. So there goes the idea, the root as to what probably brought Ragaji into community building. I assume like that, Ragaji. Yeah. She's located in California, US, and all the way from there, she's connected with us all. Thank you so much, Ragaji. She celebrates every opportunity to connect to Indian culture and tradition. And she holds events, virtual events that hosts 1,000+ people. So that's amazing. That's unbelievable at times, in fact. So, Ragaji, here.
Thank you, Vatishi.
What would you like to? Yeah. What would you like to say about like what is community building? What are your insights about this?
I would go with whatever you started. Alone we can do so little. Together we can do a lot. If I have to talk about my journey in community building, it all started because we live in San Diego, northern part, where Indian population is very less. It's not much. So just the idea of bringing people together, we just started a WhatsApp group. Something that I started as a WhatsApp group, in 4 years, in a span of 4 years, we have been able to do events hosting 1,000+ people. It's not only hosting 1,000+ people, we have been cooking food and serving food for 1,000+ people. Cooking food for that big count in our backyard. So all this has been possible or is made possible because of great people coming together with who to give back. And I have to say, all of us, it's basically led by women. All Mahalakshmis came together. So I really feel very blessed and honored. If it's for a good cause, God will give all his energy. Yeah.
One question from my side, Raga. So what you feel is the evolution available to your members, which wouldn't have been available otherwise? If this community was not there, what is that which they would have missed?
I would go with whatever you said. Evolution of one being will lead to evolution of everyone, right? And The strong thing that happened in our community is basically appreciation and support system that bought in. Basically, every woman started feeling being appreciated for everyone may do little, but it could give lots of around them. It could give lots of positivity, right? So the support system and the positivity, the appreciation, we were able to form a very good community, and lots of businesses came up. Lots of women started their own businesses, which we wouldn't have even known earlier. Probably we were like 1,000 families around just in this community. But in this 1,000 families, we all know each other. We know who is good with what, whose talent is what. Strong connections were built. Otherwise, we would have missed this. As I was saying, it all started with WhatsApp group 4 years back. And today we started in 2016 November. This will be our 4th anniversary. And I felt very privileged to talk about community building 4th anniversary. Yeah, basically support system. It's all the
That's
power of
amazing.
word. Just one word of appreciation, how it impacts others' life.
So I want to add something because I have been a part of Raga's community, and the WhatsApp group is Tri-City. First of all, I want to say that when I entered, there were 256 members, okay? And in 4 years, I have seen that the moment one person leaves because they have moved out of that locality, immediately someone else joins in. I mean, within 5 minutes. It is always 256 in the WhatsApp group. And I have seen this trend. In fact, people will say, is anyone going to leave because we want to join this person? So that is the kind of connection. When I looked at it maybe 2 or 3 years ago, people would post that this is what I have cooked today. And that they are interested in catering. And anyone who tried would give very, very specific and appreciative feedback. And that's how the business, I've seen businesses grow, whether it be beauty parlors. One person will say, hey, this is what I enjoyed. And then everyone would share their experience. So really this appreciation has created that community. The other thing I would say with Raga, like there is a kind of natural humility and appreciation that always follows. And everyone considers that group their own. So even though Raga is a leader, everyone, I've seen so many people in different, she allows people to take leadership and take charge. And I've seen so many leaders grow. And one of the most beautiful things about Raga that I've seen is that her ability to flow with life and the example that I have shared in our group. But I want to share with everyone that this summer during the COVID, when the COVID hit, she had planned she had planned some Zoom sessions with some parents for the communities. Like for example, with me, she asked me to story read to the kids. She had involved some high school kids to share their talents with a bunch of kids. And the whole idea was that this way, at least the kids are occupied for 1 hour in a day, right? We are all gathering and we are using our own talents. Plus the person who is sharing the talent also has opportunity to grow in that. So she started this for 2 weeks, but the way it took off in such a way that by the end of summer, there were 3 Zoom sessions every single day run by kids as young as 9. I think the highest participation would be like about 50 people would join in. And every day there were 3 sessions, and there were kids, 9-year-old kids. One of those 9-year-old kids, he taught people how to make mobile apps. There were chess, there was painting, there was cooking, like kids teaching each other how to cook. There was a person who taught choreography, and the level of, there was a kid who taught story writing. All these kids, I know their names and everything because they were so good at it. It was like they were running professional classes. And I think where else would have they gotten this opportunity? And she just, and this is what I love about Raga is it's not what she starts. She doesn't need to stick. The moment she sees something is growing, she's like, okay, here's the energy, here's the platform, go ahead, run with it. So really, really admire that about Raga. Raga and REVA have been like 2 Lakshmis in my life in USA, and who have introduced me to some amazing people who I have real heart connections with. So thank you so much, Raga. Really, and I think this is just the beginning. You're an amazingly talented woman. I can't wait to see where you go, and I am with you.
Thank you. Thanks for all And blessings. Feel very privileged.
Yeah.
Lucky.
Small acts, when multiplied with millions of people, can transform the world. Yeah, truly so.
Absolutely.
And probably,
What, yeah, what I'm finding most fascinating is that how a lot of kids are discovering who
The
they
unique
are.
potential.
Yes, I think this is the greatest contribution. I mean, what we really to make kids feel that what they could contribute, what they could create, and that really accelerates the way they live. I really, really, I mean,
Shivu, and they feel
fascinating.
so empowered. Like I see those same kids before the summer vacation, and I see them after, and I can see how they have felt empowered in this journey. It is just unbelievably amazing.
Yeah.
I am happy to present Raga ji a small token of our love and appreciation. Just a token. You've done far more that this token would really address. So I request Dirgha to share the small token from all of us here from Quanto Life to appreciate Ragaji's concern and the deeds in creating heart-based symbiotic communities. So the word symbiotic, Ragaji, you've explained it so well. Please receive it on the behalf of Quanto Life.
Thank you so much. I'm really blessed. Such a privilege.
And I would really love, Ragaji, if you could share an insight, a special experience that you had while you were maybe developing the community or trying to stabilize it, because that is where I think the most energy is required in stabilizing, going consistently once you've acquired a certain level, or maybe when you are producing the community. Would you
Um,
share some such experience?
I would just to share experience from one event. We did Sitarama Kalyanam. It was last year, 2019, April. Being brought up in India, in southern India, doing on Rama's birthday for Ramanavami, doing Kalyanam is a ritual that I have been bought since my childhood. But in US, the place where I live, it's not being done. So this thought have been constantly hitting me. Okay, Kalyanam has to be done in US. When I approached certain people who have been living for years, they told, be a Roman in Rome. It's not possible to do the way it's done in India. So don't even think about it. But the thought was constantly hitting me. We have to replicate the same Indian culture, whatever has been done, like putting a sit-down lunch on banana leaves, cooking complete traditional wedding meal. And I have to tell you, for every event, there's lots of pressure on head, like where I have to run around, lots of work to be done. But I felt for this particular event, Lord Hanuman came all the way and has done every single thing with his hand. We planned, even though it's on a Saturday afternoon, so we planned to start cooking around 5 o'clock. But suddenly one guy came to my house, of course, one of our friends, he had no plans. He came at 12 in the night and he said, come on, let's do cooking. And it's a first time to cook for 500 people. We didn't know how long it would take. And he said, okay, then the other girls also said, okay, let's start. And we started at night 12, and it took like till morning 7 o'clock. We felt, okay, if we would have started in the morning, what would have happened? And the same energy continued till the end of the event for Kalyanam. Usually for every single event, we'll be running around. I don't even have a single minute to sit. But for Kalyanam, trust me, I don't know where people came from. Every single minute, in the morning, 6 o'clock, we had 10 men come somewhere. They packed everything. They took it to the hall. Complete event was done like that. And me and my husband, without stepping out for a minute, we sat there, did the complete Sitarama Kalyanam. Mansi took care of kids. Where when all other couples can do the ritual, do the puja, Mansi completely took care of kids. Like that, volunteers came all around supporting each and every event. So if it's for a good cause, for community, it's to help someone, God will take care of doing everything. We are just supposed to do what we do. That's my belief. What we do, God will take care of everything, what is not in our hands.
Absolutely, absolutely correct. And once the volunteers start joining in, then miracles start happening. I completely understand. Thank you so much, Ragaji, for being here, for sharing with us. We move ahead with the felicitations now. I now request Reva Subraji to be in the spotlight. Revaji again has come from far off place. Yeah, Revaji, are you around?
Yeah, she's here, Prachiti.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's on
Yeah,
spotlight.
yeah. She's a counselor, founder of Up for Cause non-profit organization that supports families with special needs in Greater SD, California. She's a married woman and resides in San Diego. She's a parent to a child with special needs. Her motto in life she works on is "I am possible. Nothing is impossible." And Revaji, I'm so glad to have you here.
Thank you. And
I would ask, yeah, Revaji. Though it was, she had a busy schedule, but she consented, and I'm so glad. Revaji, I'll ask you the same question about what is community for you, and how and why to really build them.
The nonprofit I started here was in 2015, and this is for parents and families who have special children. Special children meaning the children and adults and teenagers who have physical or mental or emotional or cognitive challenges. And it's for South Asian families. Though they're all in America, though they're an advanced country, there is so much of stigma, the taboo that you have something that's challenged, they would want to hide them still and not be ready to speak about them. And as a mother of special child myself, I realize it's not the way to work with somebody who has challenges. I think God is kind, and we are very blessed because He believes that as parents we can handle somebody like that, and that's why we are even gifted a child like that. So that was where I wanted to bring that around, is to the word impossible is not for the special children. They can make it possible. I am possible is what the children and the families of the special individuals should be looking at. And once you start this word around that they are just individuals and the special needs only come after, it's like that catches on. If I say this is my son and he's okay, it's normal. And that kind of spreads around. So it became like a community, a tribe, a culture where everybody said it's okay to have a child with special needs. It's not a big deal because they're children first. And then the special needs came only after.
That is so humbling and so enlightening to know, Revaji. Thank you so much. What is your insight, like building a community? Of course, you spoke about the child who really encouraged you, prompted you to go about discovering this community building in itself. But with such diverse people around, is it not very Herculean task to really make a community? Do they join in very smoothly, very willingly, Revaji? Is it that simple as it seems?
Actually, it is. I have Mansi, but that's true. It's part of the whole equation. It's like how Quanto was explained to you. You serve one, and just like everybody gets uplifted, and you serve everybody. It's one for all. It was how it started. We made it fun. We made it educative. The mission of the organization is triply to educate the parents, empower these children, and engage the community. So we not only have educating these families and these children, we engage the community. We have professionals from community come and do stuff, teach our children, And we have a buddy program where the typical kid comes and interacts with the child who has challenges. And we have Zumba classes for the parents, and we have Mansi teaching them yoga for these children. So these children are like alive. They do not see the challenges. They see there's so much in life rather than worrying about their problems. So we enhance what are the things that they can do and let them forget the things that they cannot do. So that's what we all are, I think, right? In our own ways, we all have our challenges. But the more we focus on the things that we can do, then we forget about the things that we cannot do. And that's exactly what we tried by inviting the community to be part of your One for Everybody. It's like everybody is a part of Up for Cause, and everybody is a part of engaging us with the community. It's like you spread the love and it spreads by itself.
Awesome. It's amazing to hear. Amazing. Yeah.
So I wanted to share about Raga. I want to share about REVA. REVA is a force of energy, a force of nature, literally. She is so dynamic. She is like this dynamite Shakti. The first time I met her, she was a chief guest. It is unforgettable. She was a chief guest at an event, at an Ahana event. And I was, this was at the International Museum. And I was there, I was there as a dancer. And I stayed back to see this program, and she was a chief guest. And she talked about special needs kids and how she runs a org for them. So obviously, knowing Ishan, I immediately, I told her, I want to be in touch. And she said that, and this was towards the end of the program when she came in as a chief guest. And after that, as I was walking to the parking lot, I see a call from her, and she has said, Mansi, we will connect tomorrow. I mean, can you imagine how fast she is? Like the dynamic, the sheer energy. She could have just been like, I'm the chief guest, la 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 la. I'm just going to enjoy the banquet here. But she remembered, and she called next day. And this is who REVA is. Like, she is there with her all. She's there fully all in. And it has been a delight. I have made some of my most heart-centered connections. Because sometimes when you're a mom with special needs, you have so many. You need the diversity. You need everyone. It takes a village to raise your child. But sometimes it is so easy when I don't have to explain anything. I can just be like, this is a mom, and I don't need to explain. You just know what I'm thinking. You just know what is like. I can say IEP, and REVA just knows. Like, I'm like, today, REVA, I have an IEP day. She just knows. No explanations needed. It's just so, sometimes, the effort, it just becomes effortless. It becomes sahaj, and sometimes you need that in your life. And that is how REVA has been, and she has created a community like that. So really, I don't know how I could have done without you two. And, one of the things that I've been very grateful is that in my work in US, these two, Raga and REVA, have been Ma Lakshmis, and there have been a lot of collaborations that have happened. Whether it be my book club, a lot of the kids come from Tri-City. When I do yoga or meditation, REVA has provided opportunities not just to work with children, but also parents. And I think this is just the start. And I think today, with the blessings of Mahalakshmi, we are going to go even more ahead in whatever work she wants us to do. So just REVA, and REVA, I've talked so much about you to Shivo. You've been a part of some of our, and I and REVA have done meditation together. And
Yes.
So, we've grown in synthesis, and just so much love to you, REVA.
Likewise.
Something.
It's an honor and a blessing to have met you in my life.
Yes, it is.
Love you.
And, love you too.
Amen. Amen. Whatever, Mansi, you speak just now, let that be reality. Really, that was such a blissful sharing. Thank you so much, Mansi. And here comes our small token, Revaji, for you. Again, just a small token, but yeah, we highly appreciate for what all you've been doing, and you will keep on doing. So I would request Dirgha to share the small token.
And while she shares that, I just want to share that, REVA and both REVA and Raga, they have such strong teams. They have created such strong teams in their work. And that is really the quality of Mahalakshmi, where they have, that community, they have built it with the help of very, very strong teams. So kudos to them. Yes, Prachiti.
This is Rivaji, this is for creating heart-based symbiotic communities. And once again, I would say, keep connecting with us and let us also learn things from you.
Definitely. Thank you. Thank you so much.
One small personal question, Revaji, I would like to ask at this juncture. I've been addressing you as, I take it as REVA, so REVA, because we have this word REVA. This is another name of Narmada that flows through, through Madhya Pradesh and Maharashtra, and it flows between Vindhya mountains and Satpura. So REVA. But I heard Mansi was like addressing you as REVA. So what would be the right pronunciation, Revaji?
Anything that makes you happy is fine with me.
Okay, wonderful. That itself, how inclusive you have been. Thank you so much. So all is correct. Right. Thank you once again. We move ahead.
Your amazing work. Keep spreading love, bringing all the vibrations. And I'm so fortunate to have met so many. And even Raga finally over this for all the work that you do. Thank you.
Thank you. Really blessed to be here this morning.
Totally.
We move ahead, and next we have somebody from Quanto Life, somebody who's very dear to us, Sandhya ji. Sandhya Iyer Bhede ji. May I request the spotlight be put on her? I request everybody to put themselves on mute mode, please, so that we go ahead with the felicitations. Right. Yeah. I hope I am audible. Yeah. So we go ahead with Sandhya ji now.
Prachiti, Sandhya is on spotlight. Yeah.
Prachiti, can you please drop the G for me? I am reverse aging, so the G doesn't. It jars more.
G doesn't
it jars
add,
more.
Oh, really? I'm so sorry. But then you know what, Sandhya G doesn't add to your age. It adds to your honor. Would you still want me to drop it? Yeah, it comes
yes,
with
please
love.
drop it. Please drop it, because I seek love more than honor.
Yeah.
Sandhya Bhede is a certified facilitator for the Leadership Challenge, US, certified trainer from Institute of Training and Occupational Learning, UK. She has had a marketing career spanning 20 years across verticals like media, hospitality, software, real estate, and management. Nothing else left. Sandhya, you've done it all. Such a versatile, such a dynamic and multidimensional personality. And Sandhya has been learning to teach entrepreneurship and leadership since 2015. So here is our hero who really takes care of the teenagers these days, teaching them skills which are really so very required in the new world that we are going to step into. And I request Sandhya to really guide us and tell us how this community building, how this change that she perceives has come over in the teenagers that you train. Sandhya, over to you.
Yes. Pranam Shivo, Pranam Mansi, Pranam Dadu, Pranam to the QEF, and all my Quanto family members. I chose being with teenagers over opportunities or to work in the corporate. 20 years of working in the corporate could have opened doors for me when I started my training career after my marketing career. But I somehow felt very disconnected there, and I felt that the topic that I am coming up with, that's leadership behaviors, uh, in the corporate world, it would be more of a debate, a topic of debate rather than a tool for transformation, or the unlearning is so difficult. And then I saw that there is another, you know um, there is a whole lot of there is a huge community of youngsters, who are coming up and who are going to handle the future, and they have so much of clarity. They have clarity about what they want, they have clarity about where they want to go, and what they needed was somebody who could help them reach there the right way. I mean, that the path is full of temptation to do it quick, to do it fast. There is media that keeps bombarding you with success stories. They hardly highlight the learnings from a failure. And then these kids get disillusioned, and they start following empty dreams, so to speak. And that's when I am the India's only certified facilitator for the leadership challenge. But I took special permission from the authors, that is Jim Kouzes and Barry Posner. I took special permission from them to focus on the student leadership challenge. And I went full throttle since June 2018, 2019, I'm sorry. And it is the teenagers, they have become my life now. It is uh, the the effortlessness, out of all the things that I love about Mansi here, is her reference to this word sahajta. And it is sahaj, the effortlessness in which I saw myself lending myself to these kids, and the effortlessness with which the kids reached out to me as well. That was a It was almost as if destined, kind of. And the more I worked with children, the more I found myself also working on myself. I was working on myself as I worked with the teenagers. And I'm really humbled that there are so many teenagers, and so many transformations have been possible. I don't call myself a trainer, I call myself a facilitator, and I'll always remain a facilitator. I mean, certifications and stuff, yes, you need that, but those are not going to define me. My definition is going to be the children who go out, and they live their life full. They step into their light with their own light, with maximum self belief, complete preparation, and they learn to go with the flow. So that's how it started. And to talk about community building, the name of my venture is Exceedable. The word means the ability to perform beyond expectations, and that's exactly what our children are capable of. So when the pandemic struck, uh, March end, I got worried, and I said that I need to reach out to the kids. What are they thinking? What is, the entire environment is going so negative around the pandemic. So what's going on in their mind? So I casually, said that, okay, it's a Saturday afternoon. Let's have a Zoom call. And that Zoom call happened. We chit chatted, we shared about our worries, we shared about wanting to remain positive, to to keep ourselves, to hold ourselves, to hold each other. By Thursday the following week, I got 4 calls. Ma'am, are we meeting this Saturday? Can we meet for 40 minutes? I said, okay, we can do that. What would you like to, do with that? They said, no, nothing. Just we would like to meet. So I said, okay. So one meeting happened, second meeting happened, third meeting, I had to give them something. I had to give them a structure. So I said, okay, let's discuss leadership. The thing that brought us together, let's discuss that. Okay, where do you see leadership? So I started sending them documentary movies, of leaders. And I would tell them, okay, identify leadership behaviors and stuff like that. And they came back with so much preparation, so much of effort to actually go through that 40-minute documentary movie and identifying leadership behaviors in what they saw, and that started giving me that effort started talking to me, and I said, wow, if they can identify this in others, can there be a way in which they can identify it in themselves? And then
Right.
we
Yeah. I think,
slowly.
Sandhya, I think that is what is the crux of all the matter with teenagers. They really want to be heard, as if
Yes,
they really do not have anybody around to hear them. And that is what is the crucial age we call teenage. They're neither the big
absolutely.
ones, they are not young as yet. Right, right. Okay, would you, Sandhya, would you share like um, any Herculean thing or anything difficult where you really thought that now probably you will not be able to go ahead? I mean, you felt stuck, or you really kind of regretted that you did not or could not do something about a particular dimension there.
Before the pandemic, yes, there was a situation. Being, since I was offering a structured program, there were some protocols that I had to maintain, and there is
Mm-hmm.
an excellent workbook associated with the program that the students have to complete, and it's like their personal thing. But then this comes from the US, and the culture is very, very different for our children here. We
Hmm.
can't just leave
Yeah.
children in India with workbooks and say, go figure. And I was
Yeah.
feeling very dissatisfied. I was feeling very, very dissatisfied. And I was feeling, I even spoke to my mentor about it, that the student workbook is, I don't think it is working, and I'm not feeling happy about it.
Mm-hmm.
When the pandemic happened, I was
Yeah.
able to replace the workbook with an assessment, a 20-page report which tells the kids, which tells the teenagers, it gives them a comparison between their own assessment of leadership behaviors with the average of the feedback of observers they choose. For example,
Okay.
say Mansi's Ishan takes a assessment. So he does a self-assessment,
Mm-hmm.
and then he nominates teachers, peers, parents, relatives, cousins to observe, to give him ratings on the same behavior. And I
Right.
help them understand the difference. So the it's I and
Mm-hmm.
I have done in this period, I have done about 120 such assessments. What is coming out is
Wonderful.
that the
Wonderful.
teenagers are able to quickly get the point, without beating around the bush.
Yeah.
They quickly understand, oh,
Mm-hmm.
here is where I am underestimating myself, I'm not leveraging, I'm not making use of a strength that I already have, or this is the place where I am overestimating myself. It is all faff, there is no material yet, I need to build the material to
That's great.
claim this.
Yeah.
So that's
That's great.
that's
So
what really
feedback is, I
helps.
think, yes, and I think feedback is the key that really works for
And
everybody
one,
there. Right.
yes, and what I really the moment that the moment of highlight for me, among there have been so many, but a 14-year-old wrote me a feedback about his coaching journey, and he wrote
Mm-hmm.
that I I I love the way I'm treated with dignity and respect in the community. I'm not treated like a child.
Great.
So
Yeah.
I think
Great.
that speaks a lot about what these kids actually want. And I am fortunate
Absolutely
that in
correct.
this audience, I have one of my co-parent, if I could say. Dr.
Mm-hmm.
Sunita's son is my student,
Mm-hmm.
Tanmai's mom.
Mm-hmm.
She is here, and I'm so happy to share children with parents.
Yeah. That brings to another point, Sandhya. I'm so sorry to interrupt you, but
No.
I suddenly remembered that you had requested for one very special introduction. You had wanted me to ask on the forum because most of us, most of the contours would be here. So when I was to introduce you, dear audience, Sandhya said, "Now, what introduction would I be giving to those who already know me?"
No, me.
And in fact, she said that I would rather want the people, the Quanto friends, to really introduce me to myself. So can we have a quick one-liners from all of us who know Sandhya as to who is she? For like, if I mention that I don't know who is Sandhya, absolutely no idea who is Sandhya, how would you tell me who Sandhya is? Can we have it quickly here? I
Can
throw
I,
it open onto the forum. Yes,
Ramon
yes,
here.
Ram Mohanji.
She is the person who
Yes,
is always looking for transformation of others. Although it's not going in a family, but for others, she's always there. She's a transformational leader, I think so. In practice,
right.
obviously, we are connected to Mukambika, whom I worship since my graduation days, and very connected also. She connects with everybody in the community very well.
Thank
Right,
you.
right,
Thank you for
right.
your kind
That's
words,
great.
Ramon.
Thank you so much, Rahman. Anybody else who would like to introduce me to Sandhya on this forum? Yeah,
Just
I
heard
think
this is Raga, but shaping youth leaders, shaping upcoming leaders.
absolutely correct. Yes, right, Raga. Thank you so much.
Thank
Yes,
you, Raga.
Dirgha.
I just have a lot of gratitude to Sandhya because she was the one who introduced me to Quanto. I can never forget what she has done for me, and extremely grateful. And as I think Ranjana was saying, she's Queen of Hearts. She's the real Ma Lakshmi when it comes to
Mhm.
sharing and when it comes to spreading things. I think I'm
Wow,
extremely grateful to Sandhya for everything. Thank you.
wow,
Thank you. Thank you,
great.
Dirga.
It's
Um,
so very interesting
Pranam,
and humbling, Sandhya, to know you this way. Yes, yes, Sonita ji.
um, Sandhya has, what I felt was with this journey that she had with Tanmay and my niece also, Utkarsha, was there was a lot of
Mhm.
transformation that I could see in Tanmay and especially in Utkarsha. The best thing about her was that she takes these children as if they are her own and is so dedicated in her work towards them. It's just amazing to see her at work when she is with these children, the way she pours her heart into it to work with them, to have that change, see that change in them. It's just simply great, simply great. I admire her a lot for her work.
Thank,
Excellent.
thank you so
Thank you.
much. Thank you. Thank you, Sunita. Thank you.
Thank you, Sunita ji. Sunita ji. I think Ruchita was also wanting to speak. Ruchita? Okay. We move ahead with the ceremony itself now. Yes,
Ruchiti,
yes,
I just wanted to
yes.
add a few
Yes,
things
Mansi.
and just share. But so, yeah, we can. I always say that Sandhya is, first of all, she's a sweetheart. Love you, Sandhya. It's been such a joy to know you and your family. Sandhya is a Deva magnet. She just introduces so many Deva souls to us. So many, so many of our Quantos, Dirgha, Rupali, and so many more have come through her. And what is even more heartwarming is that how this collaboration that we have had with Exedibles and Quanto Life, which is the hero's journey. I will really just share that it is one of my it is one of the closest programs to my heart because we work with kids on on discovering their unique potential. And Sandhya, I would love to hear what was your experience. And I want to share that when Sandhya gets feedback, it is not feedback; she gets raves. And we and you can see the raves flowing on the chat, and I have personally seen how every child in Hero's Journey, what it has meant, and how she has trusted us, and she's like, literally, she's like a mom who's trusted us to take care, and she's like given it, and then we have all gotten involved. So it has been, I think it has been one of the most beautiful experiences in my life to be with these kids, because their talent, they just go off like a rocket.
Absolutely.
We have so many baggage and so much subconscious we have gathered through the ages, but for them, you tell them something and then they shoot up, and the talent is just immense. You're like, oh my gosh, this is the talent when they are at this, they are teenagers. And we also had older people join in, and I just loved that interaction between the two ages. So Sandhya, what was your experience with Hero's Journey?
So I would aptly repeat what Shivo had said regarding Hero's Journey, and it just remains with me. The Hero's Journey was a program where age-wise, the younger ones, they matured, and the older ones, they became childlike. They just dropped their baggages, they just dropped their inhibitions, they just dropped, stuff that they were holding, that was holding them back. And the younger ones, they became more aware, they became more conscious, their energy got a direction. Generally the young ones, they are high on energy but low on consciousness, and the older ones, they may be higher on consciousness but they are low on energy. So it really brought them so together and so well. And I feel so fulfilled when playing this role. I was very dissatisfied in my corporate career, though I was good. I mean, there was a lot of there was a lot of things that I've done. I mean, done and dusted kind of, and it didn't hold any charm for me. But here, every new kid who comes into the community is like, wow, what can I learn? What new dimension is this kid opening up for me? That kind of a thing. And I'm so happy to share with all of you here that in the month of December, we are having, I just got confirmation today that after Jim Couzes and Barry Posner, the third person, there is this certified master called Beth High. She has agreed to come for a community meet, the grand community meet with students, because I have been sharing with her the stories of all these individual students, as and when they have crossed a milestone, or gained on their self-belief and preparation matrix. And she's so happy. She says, I want to meet them, I want to interact with them, and this interaction is going to really help the students. They're really going to, and they're so excited about it. And the grand meet is happening on 19th of December, and
Great.
it's where they are coming. Beth is coming, we'll have Sridhar, we'll have a few other very very high conscious principals belonging to the education sector. And today I stand in gratitude. I know Ma Lakshmi is here, I know the Devas are here. I stand in gratitude that they chose me for this work. They chose me to become this
Definitely,
channel.
definitely, Sandhya, you had it all. You had it all inside you, and you really started on the right path. And really, what loss you would have had if you would have continued in the corporate career. Good that we were all blessed to have you all here, and we all can see. Look, the chat box is overflowing with your introduction.
I will look into it right now.
Yeah. So here, Ram Mohanji saying something.
Book which I have, is it the somewhat related to that? I might have a book of Hero's Journey, a script book. Is it somewhat related to that book?
I'm not sure, Ramon. The Hero's Journey.
By Joseph Campbell.
Mansi can speak a little bit about
Mansi can speak about it. Yes.
Mansi, would you want to?
The Hero's Journey is really a word coined by Joseph Campbell, and we are very, very inspired by him, his work, on finding out the unique potential of the person is really an inspiration for us. And Joseph Campbell, he looks at heroes in all the mythologies and all the legends all over the world in different cultures, and he has done tremendous work on what makes a hero. Now we want to take that work into the individual sphere and help people discover what makes them a hero, because everyone wants to be a hero right now, but what it is that will make you a hero is the journey, and that is what we are
And
focusing on.
also, I would like to add one more thing here,
Great.
that in certain way we went beyond what Campbell has mentioned in the book. So one of the most famous quote, which is there all around the world, which is ascribed to him, is "Follow your bliss." So what he describes, that if you keep following your bliss, you will discover your heroic potential. And I experimented with a lot, and I found that actually it is not true. And just by following your bliss, you cannot discover your hero potential. And me and Sandhya and Mansi, we all had a lot of discussion about it. So actually, we move into another quality. So we definitely follow this dictum, follow your bliss, but we also move into another quality, which actually, unless you imbibe that, you cannot discover your heroic potential. Yes, Mansi.
You want to share that,
Sandhya,
or
no,
maybe
no,
during the interaction?
let's see if it comes up, because see, these things are like deep insights. So unless it is shared in a very personal perspective, it is actually impossible to convey the depth
Right.
of that. Maybe Sandhya would like to say something about it.
So I observe when the kids are having their moments, and very aptly, because before every session starts, I invoke the vibrational field. Before every teaching session, before every community meet starts, I invoke the vibrational field. And uh, for a facilitator or someone who is a designated teacher, it is difficult to stop talking, you know and I know that it comes in the way of the student's journey. So somehow, I know, I am able to understand, realize, pick up the cues to when to stop talking and when to, let let the child come up with what ideas they have or what they want to share. And they do come up and share their fears. They come and share their, fantasies sometimes. And like that child gave me a feedback, treating them with dignity is my utmost priority. And that is what I think, following, I mean, so I'm here following the bliss, and
Yeah,
I am
and
trying to.
yet I have found that the "follow your bliss" dictum, actually, I have seen so many people following this dictum. And what I realized about them, that at some point of time they all gave up whatever they were doing, because their motto was to follow their bliss. But actually, when they took up something, they realized they are not enjoying it so much, and they
No, it
sometimes felt
was.
very challenged, sometimes they felt bored, sometimes they felt a lot of struggle, sometimes it was a lot of burden, responsibility.
No, and I.
Hero consists of not just following the bliss, but also he has to take in all that, the perspiration, the hard work,
Yeah.
all that comes with that. So this is what I realize, and what I have realized now, that this is actually the biggest block in today's world. Biggest. If you
Yes.
ask me what is the number one block, why people cannot accomplish, they really want to accomplish, because I'm seeing everywhere people just want to follow their bliss, and in the beginning they are enjoying something. That is why you see so many people, they're switching from one place to another, one job to another, one career to
Yeah.
another, one business to another, because they enjoyed, when they started. But actually, when they got into that, they realized they are getting bored, and they no more find that joy in that, and they just gave up. So what I realized, that this this overemphasis on follow your bliss is actually an obstacle. So we need to,
True.
there is something else which is even more important than follow your bliss. And that is one thing definitely we discuss in the hero's journey. Yes, Mansi.
Yes, we
So
do.
maybe if it comes up,
Thank
I
you.
will share. Yeah.
Yeah, we
So
will
it's
we'll
something
take it
very
up in
deep.
the interaction. Yeah.
Sometimes certain insights are very deep. If you just
Yes.
state, they don't kind of, it's impossible to receive. So I rather like to share those insights when there is a lot of personal sharing. Yeah. Yes,
True.
ma'am. So that is the
Thank you,
difference
Shivo.
between our public sessions and our workshops. In workshop we hear a lot, we actually, so whatever principles are there, we are always discussing in our public programs. But the personal application of that is what we do in our workshops. So another workshop we are going to have is the money wisdom. So where we will interact with each and every person who joins the workshop, and we will discover on individual level what are their obstacles, why the abundance is not there in their life, and what is that they can do to build that abundance. And that is with very specific reference to current age of ideas, where all the wealth generation, most of the wealth generation is actually driven by knowledge. So
Yes.
in this era of knowledge, how do they, you know uh, create abundance in this era? So that is what we'll discuss in the money wisdom. Mansi,
Uh,
please.
yeah. Thank you so much, Shivu. Dirgha, since
Yeah.
this topic has come up, is it okay to share the money wisdom poster just because it has come up?
Mati, give me a minute. Yeah.
Yeah.
And while Dirgha does that for us, uh, I want to place my gratitude for the QVF, for Shivo, for Mansi, for having really, really helped me on my path. Had it not been for the two of you, I would have got lost. Uh, I mean, with all humility, I say the world would have lost something if it was not for the two of you. Because the two of you, your guidance, your insights, the commitment that the two of you have for me, it is mind blowing. I feel, the moments when I feel, sometimes a lack of love or, stuff like that, I immediately think of the two of you. And I said, who else? Who else has ever experienced so much of committed love? And then my mood becomes all right again. So thank you so much, both of you. I hold both of you in my heart. I dance with you. I hug you every time. And it's pure I mean, my good karma that I am in your hands.
Yeah. Uh, Jayaji, I know we're taking some time, but we are getting ready for you. Dirgha, are you sharing about the money wisdom and also the certificate? So the
Dirgha,
reason
actually,
money,
Dirgha had been, yeah,
yeah,
she
that's
had
okay.
been
So
switching devices.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, please go ahead, Prachiti.
Yeah. Dear audience, this is our token from Quanto Life to Sandhya for all that she's done, and she's just explained. And I got to be introduced to Sandhya today, feeling really happy about that. She has
Thank you
been
so
creating
much.
heart-based symbiotic communities. Congratulations, Sandhya. This is for you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
My prasad.
Dirgha, Dirgha, we move ahead with the felicitations, or are you going to show that poster?
Can you just share the if it's possible, the poster? I just want to say this
Otherwise,
about money wisdom.
Just a second.
Yeah. So one thing I want to say about money wisdom, I remember this conversation with my dad before I was coming to US, and I said, money is not important to me. I said something like that. I would even have trouble holding money. I would never hold money Like when I would get money for tutoring, which was astronomical when in US, I would get $70 for an hour, and I would not even hold the money. I would just keep it somewhere. And I would literally have money everywhere, just because I did not like to touch. And my father said, see, this is the problem. Like, the money is, when you look at the wealth, so much of the wealth in once upon a time would be concentrated with people who were like, ruled by greed and corruption and about what we call asura souls. Like, so much of the money was there. And he would tell me, that people, he didn't use the word Deva souls, but he would say, no, good people need to have. We want money in the hands of good people. We want money in the hands of Deva souls. And I see so many talented people who appreciate life, who are channels of divinity. But somewhere I feel that money wisdom has not come to them, or they have not been able to capitalize. Capitalize is a bad word, but really, how to make that grow, how to make wealth, how to move from that appreciation community to creating wealth for all. How do you move that? And I think that is what this workshop, it's a personal workshop working with your money, subconscious, what are your issues, and how to create wealth, not just for you, but in the world. And how that wealth, that money can be a channel, a currency for bringing more good, for bringing more creation, how it can be the fuel for more creation in the world. Shivo, would you like to add something?
Yes, so I would like to say is that one of our objective in Quanto Life is that we know in the current reality of the world, it is the money and power is more concentrated in the hands of the so-called asuric souls, and our one of our objective is to empower Deva souls. And we know if money and power is in the hands of Deva soul, this world will be more beautiful. So we want Deva souls to be, having more money than they have currently. So that's our mission, because we know that this is a way for world to become a more beautiful place.
Thank you so much. So I invite you all to join, and Prachiti and Jayaji, we are waiting to hear about you. So Prachiti, over to you.
Yeah, we move ahead with the felicitations, and now I am going to introduce somebody who seems too close to all of us, because I had been reading, and Jayaji had been really putting forth such words of wisdom, sharing about everybody that she had been in observation. And welcome Jaya Lakshmi Chitturji, the next special person that we have for the honoring ceremony. Jayaji has not been keeping good health. I would like to tell the audience, she had health issues. She got multiple fractures in her left hand, and she also underwent a surgery. Yeah, but then when we look at her on the screen, and the way she has been really helping us out with appreciation, I personally feel I really did not want to mention that she had been undergoing pains, but I am blessed. I am feeling the healing myself, that Jayaji has been with us. Now, this is what I call the spirit of a person who is into community building. I mean, it's not you, it's the community you think about. So, Jayaji, wishing you really good and speedy health in future, very quickly. And now the formal introduction to Jaya Lakshmi ji. She has not been we don't really address her in Quanto Life. I was told that we address her as Jaya Didi, so I would really love to call her Jaya Didi now. Jaya Didi is trained as an environmentalist from JNU, but has spent last 38 years in service and developmental sector. She delves deep into ICT, information communication technologies, and contributed to ensuring knowledge for societal development. Can we put the spotlight on Jaya Didi?
Prachita, she's on the spotlight already. Thanks.
Yeah. She has worked, she is connected to thousands of grassroots NGOs, women organizations across 65 countries. Jaya Didi has been a part of 15 books in total. Since last 15 years, Jaya Didi has been working for community radios also, where she aspires to connect people over FM radio and bring them closer. So very honored to have Jaya Didi today amongst us. And again, I would put the same question to Jaya Didi. Didi, how do you say, like, community building and really bringing people together, how does it help to shape, in fact, reshape the world?
Namaskar and thank you. It is such an honor for me to be here in this dialogue, in this very inspiring session. The people who have been honored before are, themselves so fantastic and so inspiring. For me, my journey of the last 4 decades is a very, very humbling experience. Every time I move from one place to another, it gives me an opportunity to know how less I know about whatever knowledge I have gained. It is that humbling process that enables me to be a constant childlike learner. The fact that even if I went to a lady downstairs and she tells me, I have been spending this 8 months of lockdown with not enough food to feed my family, but I thought, why not grow 3 little patches I have in front of my little hut, and I have grown my little bit of patch with a little bit of green, and with that I've been able to feed 5 people. For me, that's a learning that we have to be into production. We have to do something beyond just thinking. We have to act. So every day, every moment, this process of learning is what has kept me going. And I think the community building, as I have done, has been to use technology quite effectively. Even well before the internet started, in fact, I was part of something that was called a FaxNet service. When the fax machines were the ones to connect communities, we used fax information, shared it among different women's organizations, who in turn made cyclo-styled newsletters and shared it among communities. That is how we made sure international agreements and dialogues that were happening reached the communities in their own language. So this is what I have learned, that there's so much to be done, and whatever we can do is only possible if there are more people with you to do what you want to do. Yeah, so
that was just
Jaya Didi, what is your most dear experience, memory of such a long cherished life you have lived with so many people? We would love to hear a very cherished memory which is very dear to your heart.
I would be very, very delighted to talk about uh, an event that happened not too near in time, nearly 20 years ago. But there was an opportunity for me to invite a few people who were stranded in the Delhi airport. These were people who spoke only Spanish. They were Mexican indigenous people. And I was coming back from a flight and I was going home. And I knew that they were struggling because they could not speak English. They did not have money. They were poor. Very visibly, it was difficult for them to communicate with anyone. So I told them, with the little 2 sentences of Spanish I knew, I said, please come home. So I just put them in a taxi, brought them home. This was a bunch of 6 women. I hosted them for 5 days because their next flight was, because this Mexico flights were happening once a week and they had missed a connecting flight. So I hosted them for 5 days. I learned all about Mexican life without having ever traveled to Mexico in my own personal life. They cooked for me in my house. I'm a vegetarian. I told them I only have vegetarian food here. They said, you are a god. I said, no, 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 I'm not God. They said, no, you're Mother Earth because you have fed us. And that is what Mother Earth does. So for me, that is an inspiring experience where there was no reason, there was no rationale, there was no connection. It just happened. I met somebody, I just invited them home. And I know that this has happened to me when I went once to Canada, my first ever job in a, in a country that I had not visited before. And I had a Sudanese lady who said, please come to my house, stay in my house till you find your place to live. A lady who I had never known, just out of the blue. So there is some reciprocity that happens in the world. And this is the kind of experience that keeps, energizing me. Surprises and new things that come into your life. As if God willed it for me to find my Sudanese friend, to find a home in Canada with minus 43 degrees Celsius on the 3rd of January, 2003, and this is like 20 years later, somebody from Mexico blessed me that you must have a home in Canada when you don't know anybody, then also you're welcome. So this is my beautiful experience, Shivoji.
Jayati, you're such an amazing soul.
This is the true energy of Mahalakshmi.
Yeah.
Shivo, so many people just talk about things, they have ideas. This is like grounded, practical divinity. This is like earthy divinity. It's not high up there, bato mein. It is like real, it is tangible, it is touchable, and it touches your heart and your whole body. Actually, it nourishes your body. Even hearing all these sentences, it nourishes your body. I agree with the Mexicans who said you're Mother Earth.
Thank you.
Really.
Thank you so much.
Right. Jayaji, you spoke about reciprocity. So it's absolutely, this is what we are taught right from our childhood. What you sow, so you reap. But then it takes so many years actually to really learn the practical aspect of it, the application that this can be put to. And I'm really feeling so blessed to know you today. Right from the time you joined the forum and that you had been posting for every single person who had been here. And then when you spoke about those women who you helped and how you were helped by somebody. And there was really no conversation, nothing known before that. As Shivo has put it, actually, this is what is sharing. So a small token, again, Dirgha will share on the screen the small token, Charity, for your efforts, and we really wish that you continue for hundreds of thousands of years blessing the people you are amongst. Here it is.
Thank you so much.
For creating heart-based symbiotic communities, Jayaditi.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. I'm very, very humbled. Thank you.
This has been our. This is how we have been going ahead with inviting people and helping them share the experiences and really inspiring all those who get to listen to them. So in future also, we are going to continue this in our open sessions on Tuesdays. So if you know, dear audience, if you have anybody around you who you feel has been really going the extra mile, especially when it comes to betterment of the world, please get in touch with us. Let us know about that person and we'll take care. Thank you. Over to Mansi now. Yeah, Mansi.
Thank you. Thank you all so much. I invite Shivo also to the interaction. We have been, actually today's honoring, I think this was probably Mahalakshmi's wish, that there was a lot of interaction that happened during the honoring ceremony as well. But now we go into a little more inquiry before we get ready for our invocation today. So So one of the things that I and Shivo have been discussing is, how communities are created today. Okay, and if you even think about internet, and the word that follows internet is World Wide Web. And what is the World Wide Web? The web is the connection. It is something that intends to create an interaction with every single thing in the world, the whole world. So I feel it is so fitting that even the name internet, it is called the World Wide Web, and that is the essence of Mahalakshmi. Um, uh, sh- so I would, Shiva, if you could talk a little bit about how communities are created. You had started by sharing that language is one of the things that first created the community. You would share your experiences and how this journey went ahead.
Yeah. So the see, human beings have been around for almost 10 million years. This is what our Shastras say. And even the archaeological evidences say that human beings have been around at least for 3 million years, because the earliest fossil found is something like 3 million years. But if you see that the evolution of human beings has really happened in past maybe 100,000 years. Yeah, it's a very, very short period of time. So what is that which caused their evolution? It is the it is the invention of language. Before that, humans were like monkeys or chimpanzees. So what really caused the huge evolution is our language. And why language caused the evolution? Because one person experienced something, and then everybody got a piece of that with whomever it was shared. So now another leap of evolution happened, something like 5,000 years back, when the writing was invented. Because what happened with the writing, the with the language, you could only share with the people in your space time, the people who are around you, and people who are there in that time, in that space. But with writing, knowledge began to get stored. So whoever has experienced anything, the whole generations coming after that, they all start to share. So with the invention of writing, the evolution of humans, it took the next leap. And then the next leap came when the printing press came. And the human evolution in past 400, 500 years have been immense. But the grandest evolution has ever happened in human beings is in past 25 years. We have seen the most rapid leaps of evolution in past 25 years. And uh, ever since the internet has come, human beings have created more knowledge in those 25 years than what they have created in past 10,000 years. So that is a level of evolution. And if you see in today's world, the wealth generation, the prosperity, wealth creation is driven by knowledge, and knowledge grows by sharing. So invention, invention is more Ma Saraswati quality. But really, I mean, how much of that part of us we take leap when we invent something? Not so much, really. Really, the grandest leap that happens to us when a lot of people, we start to share a lot of insights, a lot of knowledge with others, a lot of experiences, right? So that is why the internet has caused a huge leap. And actually, with internet, the whole model of wealth creation and prosperity it has gone into a whole different mode. It has gone into a whole different gear. It is a whole different plane now. So yeah, so earlier the community, see, the communities were very, very important. even before. It is whoever could build the community became prosperous. Whoever disintegrated their communities, that nation became poor. The best example of prosperity we find in the Christian nations, developed nations, not the nations which got converted into Christianity 200 years back with British invasion. No, I'm not talking about that. But see, the Christ was a great community creator, because the second most important sutra Christ gave, first most important sutra he gave was love the God, and the second most important sutra was love your neighbors. And that helped create the community, because that was a dictum that love your neighbor. So then you start to share everything with the neighbors, and suddenly there is a neighbor to the neighbor to the neighbor, and this is how the Christianity grew. In spite of all the prosecutions by the Roman emperors, there was a grand prosecutions by Roman emperors, but the Christianity grew. So this was the magic of community building. And one thing beautiful which was there in Christianity, which was lacking in Islam. So the Christianity also interacted with communities which were non-Christian. So they were able to appreciate even the non-Christians, especially in past 200, 300 years, especially, they could embrace, especially in UK, the Christian communities also embraced those who were their big critics. And who were the worst critics of Christians? They were the new thinkers, whose a new crop of the new thinkers started with the Cambridge University. And that's where the whole new thinking, free thinking of the world started. That's where the science started, the technology started, because these Christians, they embraced their adversaries, their critics. That is why England became the superpower. Now, that quality was not there in Islamic communities. They were very close knit, but beyond Islam, they were so much they were so much adversary to the other communities, that they were not ready. They were not ready to appreciate. They were not ready to learn. So they lagged behind. I mean, they are most behind today in the world in terms of knowledge creation and the authority in the new world. Yeah, so it was a quality of embracing, right? Now that quality of embracing today is most important on internet. It is because we embraced beyond our national borders. We embraced everyone. So there was a huge knowledge creation. And the people who were most open to embrace their adversaries, the paradoxical views, they were the one who were the superheroes of the past phase, the last phase of wealth creation. They were the one who are really experiencing the abundance. And in today's internet world, the biggest obstacle to abundance I see is when we are stuck with our belief systems, when we are not ready to listen, when we are not ready to learn. We just want to connect with the people who conform to our ideology, and those ideologies start to become narrower and narrower, and we stop listening to what is beyond our ideology. Those are the people who cannot really create value. So that is, in today's world, we were discussing about what is a Lakshmi quality, what is a Lakshmi quality. So this is what the Lakshmi and Alakshmi is in today's internet world. Yes, Mansi.
Shivo,
Shiva, so yeah.
Shivo, even in St.
So
Michael Church in Mayam, they have an interreligion discourse also, just for example.
Yeah, yes. So Christians have a lot of they have a lot of discourses with other religions, and the biggest, the biggest embracement they have done is of atheism. Today, if you see, the Europe is the most atheist uh, continent. So their Christianity actually allowed them to go beyond God also, right? So it is not just that they embrace, they are in dialogue with other religions. They are in continuous dialogue and appreciation of those people who don't believe in God. I think this is the height, really. This is the height of openness. So Europe, actually UK is probably the most atheist country in the world. And it was a country that was a superpower.
Yeah, so we are not saying that everyone become an atheist. What we are saying is that just to
What we are saying is that be open. If you
yeah, we
believe
are
in God,
yes.
and if someone don't believe in God, right, have a dialogue instead of trying to force the right and wrong, instead of trying to give them the fear of heaven and hell. I mean, understand why they don't believe in God, and the way opens. That is a Lakshmi quality.
So Shiva, as we continue this discussion on what makes a community productive and thrive as opposed to what makes it collapse, and I'm hearing Jayaji, would you like to share what you wrote? She says the concept of commons is important. Civilizations have disintegrated when fighting led to resource ownership and privacy rather than commons, from where the concept of communities really emerges. When we transcend these barriers, we can build new forms of connected communities.
Yeah. So can I talk now?
Yes, please. Yes, please,
Okay.
Jayaji.
So I'm just thinking about how the emergence of the commons has been a very, very important civilizational, flag point, a point from where we can see communities emerge, coalesce, and disperse. Sometimes dispersal of the communities happens when the resources become a crisis. Now, whether you take civilization in the Nile, when the river became a source of a problem, fighting happened, communities dispersed because they wanted to assert their own spaces. Now, it is also because they were initially hunters gatherers using the same resources. Now, they could stay together, they could build together, they could form rules together because they were sharing those resources, or they had somebody who was asserting the sharing of the resources. Now, this is a very important concept, the concept of the commons. Now, whether people who were nomadic earlier and were not settlers also practiced this. Aajkal bhi wo dekhne ko milta hai. We can still see that a lot of the people who are grazers, they take animals in common lands. The land doesn't belong to anybody. The communities agree to share those resources. Wahi ghas sabhi ke liye.
And in the internet world, what is our sharing? This is something very beautiful. I have realized, I have observed over a period of past many years. So I have seen people who say that I have a brilliant idea and I'm not going to share it because if I share it, it will get stolen. And I have not seen those people growing. The people who see, first thing, this itself is a misconception that this is my idea. Because if this whole world did not contribute to that, that idea wouldn't come to me. In the first place, if that idea comes to me, it is because I have shared experiences with so many. And all those, when I received all those experiences, then some kind of alchemy happened. They mixed and matched with my own unique potential. And then an idea came. So this whole thing that idea is my ownership is the biggest misconception. And I've always seen the people who think that they have a great idea, so they shouldn't share because it will get stolen. I have not seen those people growing. The people
In
who
fact,
are ready to share, because in sharing your idea grows. Only in sharing you will build your community. That's what will propagate. And let me also say one thing, that nobody can steal your idea. Nobody. Because the person who has, from whom the idea has emerged, what you see is very little, 1%. There's 99% behind it that you don't see. That is a force of idea. What you see, 1%. One may say, Joseph Campbell might have said, follow your bliss. I mean, by listening, have you understood what he meant? Because he has gone through a whole life, then he shared follow your bliss, right? So you can never steal an idea. This is why my very, very clear understanding. And once you are in that space of sharing, that is when, and one more thing I've realized, when you start to share idea, one idea you will share, you will get another 100 ideas. And the people who don't share, their idea will get scuttled and no new ideas are going to grow. So I think the Mahalakshmi quality of sharing in this world of knowledge economy, idea economy, has become even far more valuable. And the power is that in the earlier world, we used to have communities which were very local, which were around us, and there was not so much diversity. There much couldn't have been created by that idea. But when we have transcended those barriers of locality, uh, the ideas are finding real traction, and that's why the communities have become most important in today's world.
Shiva, I would like to share one more, based on what Jayaji said. I would like to share one more paradigm shift that we have discussed about is when she said, when there would be a problem with Nile, there would be a scarcity of resources. And that has even led, those kind of things have led Darwin to come up with survival of fittest. You've talked about this to me. And, also the other thing, might is right? And how this paradigm has shifted from competition to collaboration, which is a more Mahalakshmi.
I mean, it is very strange. It is very strange, but I mean, it's not the right way to say. But I'm just saying that now we are in the competition to collaborate. Whoever can collaborate the most is most competitive. So your competitiveness does not come from your individual power. It comes from your collaborations. That is Mahalakshmi, actually.
May I also add one small point? And that is, when we are collaborating, there is a lot of experiential knowledge that remains in what I call as a tacit framework. And when I say tacit framework, it is in our understanding. It is in our experience. We find words not sufficient to explain that experience. So, for example, you can have any number of steps to tell how to make a roti, how to gundo the atta, how to knead the dough. But until and unless you practice doing it, you can get it wrong n number of times before you click and say, yes, I got it right. So this is tacit knowledge, a knowledge that comes with the experience and repeated practice of that experience. Similarly, when we are looking at, sharing of such a knowledge, we believe that it has been passed from one generation to another using these processes. So when somebody says, I was inspired, now if we look at Ramanujam's life as a mathematician, he just sat in the temple and he had nothing but a little, slatey, a small piece of chalk on a, little piece of stone. And he was solving equations. He never went to university. That is where divinal inspiration was there with him. He converted this experiential knowledge of language into mathematical framework, which even today's scientists and researchers are trying to explore how to explain. Now, this is magical tacit knowledge. Sometimes this tacit knowledge is transferred to you from your previous avatar, from previous generation also. This is why I think we need to believe in the quality of
And
transcendental knowledge.
there also, I would like to say that even this access or to this divine knowledge, first inspiration has to happen. And that is again a role of community. There are certain people who inspire. Some people I have seen, they're very talented. They have a lot of resources, no lack of resources, yet they accomplish nothing because what is missing in their life is inspiration. And I have seen in their lives, they are the people who do not connect with others. They are very isolated people. So what happens is when you are in isolation, there is no inspiration. And when there is no inspiration, it doesn't matter how much talent you have, how much resources you have, it just wouldn't happen. It just wouldn't happen. So even the inspiration is a Mahalakshmi function in a certain way. Though inspiration, I would say, is a very much a Ma Saraswati function, but the community that provides inspiration is Mahalakshmi function. Yes. Mansi, maybe we can move into the invocation. Thank you very much
Yes,
for your
we will. Thank you
there.
very much. Shiva, I just have one question. So Shobhaji has said, when I asked what is the role of communities, she said that communities are enlightening, but they can also be bondage. So I think we've kind of.
That's a very good point.
Yes.
Yeah. So like every tool, internet can be a tool of creation and a tool of destruction also. So if you feel that your community is a bondage, I invite you to take that issue in today's invocation.
Shiva, so we move into invocation. I invite everyone to share their subconscious and what they'll be taking. Shiva, should we take up jealousy or comparison that we have with other
Yeah,
people?
lack of appreciation. How do we
Lack
do
of appreciation.
comparison?
You can,
Lack of
you can
caring.
also take up if you feel unappreciated by people, right?
Yeah.
If you feel you've been doing something, but you feel you're not getting the appreciation that you should get, or other people are getting appreciation for what you have done, that could be an imprint. You could take up, the feelings of comparison that are coming. And sometimes, the grass is greener on the other side. So we do not value what we have, but we kind of value what other people have much higher. So if those things arise, so I invite you all to share, as openly as you can. I know it is a public forum, but really, we really have brave souls over here, and we have seen that when we are able to share, that vibration can transform.
And one of the things I have always said, we always say that jealousy is one emotion which is most difficult for you to acknowledge because we are always very ashamed of acknowledging that we are jealous to someone or a certain kind of people. So those who will share, and all of us have jealousy, all of us, there is no exception. Okay, so those of you who share their jealousies here are really the brave hearts. So, and that's your offering to Ma Lakshmi.
So I invite people to
So,
start
and
sharing.
if you're feeling uncomfortable in sharing jealousy, you can share whether you can really appreciate wholeheartedly, or there is a block in that, or whether people appreciate you or not. That block is there. And like Shobha said, that can community become a bondage? Yes, that can also be the offering to the feet of Ma Lakshmi. And any other community experiences, good and bad, even that. Yeah, even you can experience, even you can offer your good experiences in being appreciated, in appreciating others, how you felt, right? So, yeah.
May I?
Yes, you can share on the, you can speak, and also you can offer on chat? Yes.
Share on the
You want to
chat.
speak? Yeah. You want to speak? Who wants to speak? Yes, please.
Yes,
Can we have the
Sandhya here.
spotlight? Yeah. Yes, Sandhya.
Um, Sometimes I feel jealous of people who seem to have the resources that I would have liked to have to build my community further. Sometimes there are lack of resources. I do feel the lack of resources to build the community of youngsters to the level that I want to, but still, it's more like it's more like a seesaw, but when I see the value that I've created, I feel happy. But when I see that, oh, I wish I had more resources, and not just money. I'm not talking only about money. I have, thanks to Quanto Life and thanks to guidance from Shiva and Mansi, I have transcended that myth. I've broken the myth for myself that money can solve problems. No, it does not. So I offered this to Lakshmi, and I request her to bless me so that I can attract the resources needed to build my community further. Thank you.
Thank you, Sandhya. I invite everyone to share on the chat. We're going deeper into our own personal life. And basically just sharing if we feel appreciated, if we feel value, are we able to appreciate people wholeheartedly? Whether the jealous moments, whether we are comparing ourselves. Thank you, Shobha and Dirgha, for sharing. We have 32 people here. I feel, just take a moment, connect with yourself. How are your experiences with the community? Because all communities, they contribute, but they also trigger. So you can take up what they trigger in you. If you feel like bondage, you can take that up. So, so one of the things in the synthesis process, what happens is that darkness is what transforms into light. So we have to acknowledge what is our darkness, because otherwise there is no new creation of light. So, positivity is great, but unless we acknowledge the negativity, how can we transform it? So it is a very important criteria. Thank you to all the people who are sharing. And as we read them, we recognize that we may have some things, some darkness that other people are sharing, and it reminds us. And I want to thank everyone for sharing. Shivu, should I read, or
Yes.
should I ask them to read, or we just,
No,
we
we
just go on?
we go in invocation.
Yeah.
So
we will,
whoever,
for invocation, the breathing,
even those who have not shared, they can still take up.
Yeah, they can still take up. Shivu, should we do heart chakra breathing? Would you like to lead, Shivu?
No, you lead, Mansi.
Okay. Should we do humming and heart chakra breathing, or what do you prefer? What would you rather?
Yeah, heart chakra maybe.
Yeah. So for people who are new and who don't know heart chakra breathing, this breathing, it expands your heart. And Ma Lakshmi for me is, like the heart starts blooming like a lotus. So in heart chakra breathing, you will actually feel your breathing from your heart. So the way we do it is, I'll just demonstrate. So we breathe in, we raise our shoulders, we take this really deep breath. It almost comes from the heart. Raise your shoulders. You breathe out. Ha. Ha. So when you breathe in, you raise your shoulders, you will feel the breath coming out, and then when you release it, you make the sound ha, and you bring your shoulders down. Just let's do 1 or 2 rounds of it. Ha. Ha. Thank you, Raga. So throughout the invocation, we keep our eyes closed. And the last thing is Shavasana. When I say Shavasana, after I say Shavasana, y'all are welcome to go into Shavasana as long as you will wish. Y'all are welcome to go to sleep. And then I invite you to share your experiences on the chat. But we will be closing the session after Shavasana. Okay? And y'all can take Shavasana as long as you want. So we will go into invocation. I invite you to close your eyes. Is my voice okay? I tend to go very low when I'm invoking. Is my voice okay, Shiva? Give me a thumbs up. Yeah. Take a deep breath. Sit comfortably. Close your eyes. Now we will breathe through our heart. Breathe in, raise your shoulders. Breathe out. Ha. 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 Now we'll scan our body. We'll feel every body part from the top of your head to your toe, one by one. Feel the top of your head, your connection to the source. And let that awareness flow down through your hair, through your head, onto your face, your forehead, the region of your third eye, your brows, your eyes, flowing down to your nose, your lips, your cheeks, your smile. You're feeling the awareness on your face. Also feel deep inside your face, in your skull. Try to feel all the cells in your face even going inside. Feel this awareness in your neck, in your throat. Flowing down your shoulders. And as I'm feeling, as I'm observing my own body, I'm feeling all the cells open up like lotuses. Feel this awareness going down your arms, your elbows, flowing down to your palms, fingers, all your fingers. And just observe. If you don't feel a certain body part, it's okay, just observe it. Just observe the not feeling. Feel your chest, your heart, the love machine, your lungs, your kidneys, your rib cage, your belly. Feel your back, your spine, extending through the neck, all the way to the lowest rib, to your tailbone, feeling the awareness in your genitals. And then flowing down through your legs, your thighs, your knees, ankles, all the way to your foot, soles of your feet. Also feel your connection to the ground, hips that you're sitting on. Your whole body is getting aware. And now we invoke the quantum vibrational field. Repeat with me. Quantum, quantum, quantum. Feel the vibrational field all around you. And yourself immersing in this vibrational field. And now we invite our beloved Ma Lakshmi. Invite her with your own heart, in your own words. Ma Lakshmi, Ma Lakshmi, Ma Lakshmi. Bowing down at her feet, inviting her into our hearts, our bodies, our lives. And now we go into a heart-to-heart with our mother. And we openly share with her. Do we appreciate ourselves? Do we feel valued? Do we feel appreciated by others for what we do? Feel that lack of appreciation in your body. Where is it stored? Where is that subconscious stored? Scan your body like a doctor. Where is it stored and how does it feel? Go into the incidences of lack of appreciation in your life. Go deep into that incidences. Who said what? How did you feel? And now go into the incidences of jealousy. Go into the incidences of comparison. And you have been unfairly compared. Or you have compared yourself with other people and felt down. And now we go into what is the role of communities in our life? What are the communities that we belong to? Share your appreciation with Ma Lakshmi. Also share any problems that are coming up in your communities, whether it be bondage, you feel bounded, or you feel it is not expanding as much. Whatever issue you have with your community, share it and feel it in your body. Now we all offer all our kichad, all our dark areas at the feet of Ma Lakshmi. And we go into Shavasana. If it is possible, lie down, keeping equal weight on both sides of your body. If you cannot lie down, wherever you're sitting, just be as comfortable as you can. We now all collectively go into the arms, into the embrace of Ma Lakshmi. For all in India, Shivratri, stay in Shavasana for as long as you like, and when you come out of it, please share your experiences with the group. Thank you so much for joining us today. Pranam.